in this room is not happy all the time? Sometimes happy, sometimes not happy, right? Okay, every single hand almost. Anyone here who's happy most of the time, like 90% or more? Great, okay. So it's doable, huh? So some of us actually can achieve happiness most of the time. Some of us are not doing that, obviously, which basically means you're missing your target. Because, if it's doable, then, you're not doing really well. I mean, we would rate you as meets expectations, right? Have you ever gone looking for your keys when you had them in your pocket all along? Right? I mean, people with glasses would know that very well. So, yeah, right? You can relate to that. You put them on and then you look for them everywhere and you just can't find them. And, you dive under the sofa and you shout at home like, honey, where are my glasses, right? And, how can you find them when you have them on? How can you find your keys when they're with you all along? We keep looking for happiness outside us. We keep looking for things that make us happy. While the truth is this: every one of you, every child that has ever been born, is born with the default setting set to happy. If we're fed, if we're safe, if we're loved, if there is no reason for us to be unhappy, what's the default setting? The default setting is happy. And what happens truly, similar to what you do with your Android phones and iPhones, you get them out of the box and they're set to work properly. We come out of the box and we're set to be happy. Then you start installing weird apps, and your battery life goes to 4 hours, right? And you have to charge 3 times a day. While at a young age, I was extremely successful as a businessman and an entrepreneur and a day trader and what have you, I was installing things in my life. I was trying to buy a beautiful car or, get the, whatever expensive shirts or suits or whatever. I was trying to install more apps to make me happy. And I wasn't. Because truly what I should have done was remove the apps that made me unhappy. In a very, very interesting way, happiness truly is the absence of unhappiness. I want to do a quick test with you. Just in a quick 1 minute, I want you to do 2 tasks at the same time. I want you to succeed at both tasks. Both are very simple tasks. So the first one, I apologize. I want you in 10 seconds, 20 seconds, to close your eyes and remember something that makes you unhappy. I want you to turn it over in your brain until you're miserable. Can you do that for me? No, don't laugh. I want you miserable. Right. Now, keep that unhappy thought in your head. Please try to continue to be unhappy. And I want you to just do a simple arithmetic task, which is to add the numbers on the screen. Or no, hold on. Why are you laughing? You're supposed to be unhappy. At least add the numbers if you can, please. Anyone added the numbers? No? Anyone remained unhappy? Failed twice. Like, bravo, right? So what did I do here? You were okay, you were smiling, everything was okay, you were engaged in the conversation. Then I asked you to think of something that made you unhappy. You thought about something that made you unhappy. What happened? Boom, immediately, unhappiness on demand, right? And then I distracted you. I stopped you thinking about what it is that you were thinking about. Simple as that. And what happened? Boom, happiness on demand, right? It is really interesting because it's not the event. The event you were thinking about happened already. If you had not thought about it, you wouldn't be unhappy. You know what that means? It means your happiness equation looks like this, the way you think about the events of your life versus your expectations.
So happiness is very predictable, okay? If you look back at any point in your life where you ever felt happy, there is one commonality across all of those moments that can actually be documented in a mathematical equation, okay? You've never felt happy because of a specific event in your life, okay? Take, for example, rain. Rain doesn't make you happy or unhappy. There is no inherent value of happiness in rain, okay? Rain makes you happy when you want to water your plants, and it makes you unhappy when you want to sunbathe, right? And so it's not just the event, rain, it's the comparison between the event and an expectation in your mind of how life should be, okay? If you're worried about your plants, then life should be generous to me and get me rain so I can water the plants. And if life does that, then life meets your expectations and you're happy, okay? And so happiness in that sense becomes equal to or greater than, so it's really mathematics, your perception of the events of your life minus your expectations of how life should be, okay? And apply that to anything. Apply that to anything. So, my favorite example is nature. we're all happy in nature. Why are we all happy in nature? I mean, you go out there and there are ants and there are flies and, trees are crooked and there are, shrubs everywhere and bushes, and it's just really not that hedged and organized. But that's what we expect. So, nature's chaos is what we expect nature to be. And so we feel happy. Nobody ever sits in front of the ocean and says, I like the view, but please mute the sound. Okay? You just take it. It's the monotonous sound and the view and the wind and the sun and the whole experience, right? And because of that, happiness becomes very different than what was defined to us. Okay? What was defined to us is that happiness is found in a gathering at the pub or a party or an activity or some kind of pleasure or fun or elation or whatever that is. That's not at all true. I call these the state of escape. Okay? Happiness, as per the definition of the happiness equation, is events equal to or beating expectations, life going my way. Okay? And so basically happiness is that calm and peacefulness you feel when you're okay with life as it is. It doesn't really matter what life is, okay? What matters is that you can be okay with it, right? So you take, any example, if your boss is annoying, and your expectation is, bosses are annoying. This is what life is about. They become bosses because they're annoying, right? and so if that's your expectation, you're gonna look at it and go like, I need to learn the skill of managing annoying bosses. Okay? And if that's the case, then you're not going to be upset about it. Similarly, anything else, if you look at it, then it's not just the event. It's your perception of the event. So you have a something to influence. It's not just the event. Your partner might say something hurtful on Friday at 4 p.m. That's the event. My partner said something hurtful. At Sunday morning, you tell yourself he or she doesn't love me anymore. Okay? That's your perception of the event. That's not actually the event. The event is something hurtful was said. But your perception of the event is your work, it's your brain adding color to it. And then you compare that to your expectations, right? You compared my boss is annoying to my boss shouldn't be annoying. Where did you get that from, right? So we blur the happiness equation. We break the happiness equation because of what I call the 6 and 7, okay? 6 grand illusions and 7 blind spots. Which are, the 6 grand illusions are basically, call them pathways that the modern world teaches us to navigate the modern world that are illusions, are not true, okay? Take, for example, control. Everyone knows that to succeed in the modern world, you have to learn to control certain events, right? So you start to believe that the way to succeed in life is to control everything. But the truth is, even if you go down to the basics of physics, that we never are in control. That the absolute design of nature itself, of the universe itself, is entropy and chaos, right? That's the actual design. And so if you try to control it, you're bound to be disappointed. A lot of events are going to miss your expectations, okay? And yes, I'm not saying don't control anything at all, but start to understand that you're going to be selective because you have a finite amount of effort. And by the way, even if you're selective and you try to control everything, sometimes things will fall out of control, okay? And that should be your expectation. Once you get that right, these are the illusions. If you live your life through the illusion of control, good luck finding happiness. So 6 grand illusions: the illusion of thought, the illusion of self, the illusion of knowledge, the illusion of time, control, and fear, okay? Now, that's one side, and that disrupts your entire view of what to expect from life because you're expecting life to behave through a lens of an illusion. The other side of it is what I call 7 blind spots, okay? And the 7 blind spots are not really defects in your brain. As a matter of fact, they are the very design of your brain, okay? Your brain is designed to tell you what's wrong, okay? It's not designed to, if a tiger shows up right here now, my brain has no use whatsoever in telling me, oh my God, look how majestic that animal is, right? Yeah, it's a beautiful animal, but my brain will say we're gonna die, okay? And we're gonna die is the idea that basically makes our brain constantly look for what's wrong, blur the events of life. You ask a mother, And she will say, oh, my daughter's been sick all winter. No, she just had 2 episodes of flu, 3 days each. But to the caring heart of a mother, that needs to be exaggerated to. The exaggeration is one of the blind spots. Your brain is trying to get you to take action, so it pushes you. It pushes you by exaggerating the event a little bit so that you jump in and take action. And accordingly, the event you're comparing the wrong event to the wrong expectation, and the happiness equation falls apart.